Longtime viewers of the channel will be aware that from time to time I'll comb through my comment section for questions and put together kind of a compilation of some of those and for me to answer. And I really do enjoy reading the comments in all my videos and being able to answer those questions. But every now and again I get a comment or response that is so incoherently phrased that I don't really know what to make of it. And it would be very easy to dismiss these kinds of comments as being from the uninformed, the unintelligent, or perhaps someone who's very drunk, or possibly also someone for whom English is not their first language, and so they just don't have a great grasp of the grammar. But I've really found that it's much more interesting for me if I think of these comments as a form of art, of poetry, of free verse. And reading them in that light really changes how I perceive them and makes them much more enjoyable. So to that end, I have created a little bit of a compilation of some of my favorite poetic comments, fed them through an AI program, and had some AI voices read them back. I really hope you enjoy these recordings as much as I enjoyed making them.
This has been edited. What a joke. This very interesting introduction shows archaeologists at work, and archaeology tells them what to say. Out with your old archaeology professors, that with their chins up and say, "I am the wise, you accept what I tell you, or all of your funding will be deleted." Frickin' joke. Archaeology, mainstream narrative as he speaks. Point proved with this interview. Just look at his lying eyes. Go home. Mark Falstrom.
You are so good in English. Wow, what a boy. And yes, data re-great. So the data that are ignored by your side of the spectrum, go to bed, little blonde-haired hipster. P.S. Here's some grammar mistake to keep you busy whining. C.J. Silenyo.
Very interesting, but it's wood, and North America, New York, and Puck 6,000 years ago are not very good at archaeology. How do they date things? They don't. Gordon Fiala.
Midgard serpent is the Mississippi River. Jormungandr serpent goes from Carthage through Amazon River to Machu Picchu, to Choros Island, to Orient, to Silk Road, to Constantinople. Hermocrates is the head of expeditions in 404 BC from Syracuse. The sagas are cataloged in Plato's dialogue. It is the only evidence from the era. The first two dialogues were a page long about Crete outside Pillars of Libya and Asia Minor. And everything else about Atlantis comes from subsequent colonizations. Eric Sinclair, 5986.
The Native Americans were cut off from Siberia. After 2000 BC, you need to go back to Collard, relearn the Ice Age, because you're way off in your timelines. Lawrence Ferguson.
Ancient Egyptians were Phoenicians, who were an antediluvian race, who were direct descendants of Adam and Eve. The descendants of these people are likely the Vikings and the people of Eastern Europe and Eurasia, because this is also where they went after they were kicked out of Egypt. I don't know what makes you think you're an expert. Just because you can regurgitate stuff other conspiracy theorists came up with, which you read in your college textbook, which you think must be holy scripture because it's printed in a textbook. Julio M.
As you cannot beat with facts, you can only mock, too. Sunshine, you truly are eunuchs of history. Half-wit. Sheesh, your tears of angst are filling enough. Kool-Aid. Goodbye, Juice. No, the blood record alone disproves that fallacy of bad doctrines. You cannot even speak a First Nation language. It could be all Cornish hen and industrial Hindus for your lack of basic truth. It is the only nation that gave you the North Star. Sunshine, the only scientific provable truth in you. Short, miserable ritual doctrine of discovery world. Darwin. Your tale starts in Africa. Fire started on Turtle Island and the Axis calendars. It gave you normality, in other words. Marty Genesis.
Serpents were in the heavens. Our sun is a recurrent nova stars which wipes out the planet life every 21,000 years. And we see plasma dragons. Get ready. Human disease will be pulled out by the root, and only handfuls will live. John Smokey.
Thy came from the Jinja DKS, and some were selling Drujas to who the hunter-gatherers, the rocks love on the rock, Robert Gill.